So this is what I'm going to be eating for breakfast today. I did 2 over easy eggs for high quality protein. I did 2 slices of Babe's Killer bread because it's going to give me fiber, and each slice gives me about 5 grams of protein. So I have an extra 10 grams of protein just from the toast alone, because the eggs are really only going to give me about 12 grams of protein, which really isn't going to be enough to keep me feeling full until lunchtime. And then of course I mashed some avocado on here. I do about a half of an avocado for some healthy fats, but avocado also has a lot of really good quality fiber in it. Also nutrients like magnesium and folate, which we need a lot more of with PCOS as well. Since this breakfast though isn't necessarily the highest protein, it only has about 22-ish grams of protein in it, I do make sure that I add protein in other ways to this breakfast to really keep me feeling full and to curb cravings for later on in the day. I first always am going to be adding my inositol, which this is one of my newer favorite brands. I also still like the OG Ovasitol, but this Botology brand lets you buy it in just a 30-day supply. So if you're new to inositol and just want to try it out, this is a really great option because it's literally the same product as Ovasitol. It's the 40-to-1 ratio of my inositol to D-chiro-inositol, which is the proven ratio that really supports insulin resistance. It can regulate periods, decrease cravings, lower inflammation. It can really help to improve fertility. So there's just lots of really great benefits when it comes to inositol for PCOS. And then I just add a little bit of unflavored collagen peptides. I like this brand. It's really affordable. You can get it on Amazon, but you can also get it at your local wholesale club like Costco or BJ's. And I just add like a pretty good tablespoon. I find that if you add more than that, it gets a little weird tasting. But just that amount is going to add close to 10 extra grams of protein for me. And then this is the creamer that I use. It is dairy-free. It just happens to be dairy-free. I don't choose it because it's dairy-free. I just think it's delicious. But it has regular sugar in it, which I know some people are going to go nuts over, but it's a little bit. I just add with my heart. I figure that I'm being really intentional with the other nutrients in my breakfast. So the little bit of added sugar that I'm getting from my creamer that makes my coffee so much more enjoyable is really not going to derail any sort of progress. So after my morning coffee each day, I generally will only have that 1 cup. Sometimes I'll do a decaf, but usually for the rest of the day, I'm just drinking water, and I use this reusable water bottle. It's 30 ounces, and I do try to fill it up at least 3 times, so doing about 90 ounces of water each day. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I'm much better about it in the summertime, but we're all doing our best here. And then in addition to the inositol that I put in my morning coffee, I also take a multivitamin, and I like this one by Theralogics, which is the same brand that makes Ovasitol, a very popular inositol supplement, which I also like. And I also take the Nordic Naturals Pro Omega fish oil, which is just a really good quality fish oil supplement. It has good amounts of EPA and DHA, which are those really potent omega-3 fatty acids. So if you didn't catch my video about the best supplements for PCOS, make sure you go and watch that because it really breaks down what different supplements are good for, which ones I tend to recommend the most, and what works for me may not be what you need. So make sure you check out that video. I will link it below in the description. All right, it's lunchtime, and I'm going to be making a super simple taco salad for my lunch. It's been a few hours since I ate breakfast, and I am feeling hungry, but I'm not ravenous. I'm not starving, and I find that this is kind of the best zone to be going into meals because it helps you to fill yourself up, but also be really intentional with your portions and how much you're eating. Because when you go into meals and you are ravenously hungry, your blood sugar level is already so low that it's really difficult to, number one, make intentional choices, and number two, to eat appropriate portion sizes. It's really easy to just eat, and then it takes a while for our brain to actually realize we're full, and then usually you're already feeling overstuffed and you can't really undo it at that point. So I am feeling hungry, but I'm not ravenous, and this is how I'm gonna make my taco salad. So I am a big fan of convenience foods, and I will take shortcuts whenever I need them because it just helps to put meals on the table faster, and it's just where I'm at in my life right now. So I am just using a spinach spring mix. It's pre-washed. And I just do kind of like 1.5 big handfuls or like 2 smaller handfuls. And then I'm just adding some cherry tomatoes, which are great to add a little bit more fiber into the mix. They also add some good antioxidants. And I bought this grape cutter for my kids, but it works really well for cherry tomatoes also. And then for my protein source, I have leftover taco meat that I made for dinner a couple of nights ago. And I make this recipe probably once a week, and we use it for so many different things. So you can add it onto salads, you can add it into tacos, burrito bowls. We do nachos a lot of times. And it's just really versatile, but also really filling. So it's just a pound of ground beef, a can of black beans, a taco seasoning packet, and then I add 3 bell peppers, which might seem like a lot. It really boosts the fiber and antioxidant amount in this recipe. And I also will add like half of a big onion, or like if it's a small onion, I'll just add the whole thing in. And I already heated this up in the microwave, but you can also add it cold onto your salad if you're fine with that. I just prefer it a little bit more roux temp. And I do not skimp on the protein because the protein really keeps blood sugar levels stable and prevents cravings that normally will plague me throughout the afternoon or evening if I do not prioritize protein and fiber at my meals. Then I just have a little bit of tortilla chips that I'm adding in for just a little bit of crunch. And then I have some queso fresco, which I'm going to add on. It's like a crumbly Mexican style kind of cheese, and it just makes it so delicious. And I just kind of crumble a little bit right in. And then for dressing, I mix it up. So sometimes I'll use a store-bought, sometimes I'll just use like a plain Greek yogurt with some salsa. But I actually made up a cilantro, avocado, lime sauce that went with tacos a few nights ago. So I have some left over, and I'm just going to kind of use that for a salad. To make it, I just blended up some avocado, cilantro, lime, a little Greek yogurt, olive oil, and then some salt. And it comes out really delicious and flavorful. And this is kind of what it looks like when it's all mixed together. But this meal is a great source of fiber, protein, and healthy fats, which is that winning combination of nutrients that really keep your blood sugar levels more stable, lower inflammation, and keep you feeling full for longer, aka less cravings throughout the day. For my afternoon snack today, I am actually trying out a new recipe, so you get to try it out along with me. I made a chia seed pudding, and it's kind of like a tropical style chia seed pudding. So I have cut up some pineapple, and I have some shredded coconut unsweetened that I'm going to be adding into it. Chia seed pudding is packed with a lot of great nutrients, is a great source of fiber, giving you about 10 grams of fiber in just this little serving. So that is going to really improve digestion and improve your gut health. It helps the good bacteria to really flourish inside your gut. And it's also packed with a lot of other micronutrients like zinc and iron that we need more of with PCOS too. So I'm just going to kind of measure with my heart on the pineapple, and I love pineapple, so I am not shy when it comes to adding a ton of pineapple. So I just have these unsweetened coconut shreds. They actually give you a couple grams of fiber, and I would recommend choosing the unsweetened version rather than the traditional sweetened version, because otherwise you're just getting some added sugar that you probably really don't need. All right, so this is what it looks like, and let's try it out. So I'm honestly not a huge fan of just chia seed pudding by itself. I'm really also not a fan of just plain Greek yogurt or really just like that puddingy type of texture. So the way that I enjoy it is by adding things in like fruit or nuts to really give it a little bit more texture. So that's exactly what the pineapple is doing in here, and also the coconut to some extent as well. That's actually really good. Okay, this will definitely get a spot on the blog. And I'll probably make a video if you wanted the full recipe here as well. All right, and this is what I'm gonna be having for dinner. It's kind of like an egg roll in a bowl kind of dish. So there is ground beef in here, which I don't typically have ground beef for 2 meals in one day, but it just worked out that way. Then we have the udon noodles in here, which I added for a little bit of fiber and carbs, but they are really not super high fiber. So I added the edamame to also give me a little plant-based protein, a lot of extra nutrients and fiber. And then a whole bag of coleslaw is like the easiest hack for stir fries and not having to chop any vegetables, but adding a lot of good nutrition into your dishes. Yeah. And I make this kind of a dish pretty regularly. I think it's delicious and it also reheats really well as well. All right, so this is probably gonna round out what I eat in a day because I don't often eat after dinner time, but sometimes I do. So if I do, I will come back and obviously update this. Let me know if this was helpful and if this is the kind of video that you would love to see more of. Leave me a comment down below and tell me that. And of course, I will link all of the recipes down below in the description as well. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.